What's good, people? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Tony, aka Two Tone. Before we get into the video, if you could do your boy a favor, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and like the video if you do like the content. I'm not gonna be one of the ones that tell you to like if you ain't like it, but if you do fuck with it, bro, at least leave me a like. Comment down below something just to help me out. I'm on my way to 250 subscribers, and the next goal is 300, and then we just keep building from there, bro. And I do want to say, look, I'm sorry I haven't posted the last couple days. Boy's been pretty busy. Now that with my new job, I'm starting to get more work thrown at me, so haven't really had the energy to really go and make some content. But after the news that broke yesterday, well, really it broke today. The game was played yesterday with Raphinha being out for a month. We're going to talk about that. And Alejandro Balde. More links to him leaving the club. I'm going to let y'all know my true, honest opinion about all this. And if he does leave, our potential replacements. But enough chapping, enough yapping. Let's go ahead and get into this, man. So the first one I want to talk about is Raphinha. Raphinha. The news is broke that he's going to be out for a month. And it sucks. It really does suck because the game that he played yesterday wasn't even like an official game. It was a friendly that he played against France. I thought he looked all right. I mean, he didn't really look all that great. He definitely favors being in Barcelona's system compared to playing with Brazil. But nonetheless, he was playing, and then it looks like he got subbed off at half. And a lot of people were fearing the worst. Some of the reports that initially came out was he's going to be out for the rest of the season. I didn't want to jump to conclusions and make a reaction video when I first seen that, mainly because sometimes the diagnosis when it first happens is usually way off the mark. It's a bit of an exaggeration, if that makes sense. So I wanted to wait, and more tests were ran, and it looks like he's going to be out now that they verified he's going to be out for about 4 or 5 weeks. And looking at Barcelona's fixtures in the next 4 or 5 weeks, we come back April 4th. We got Atletico Madrid. We got to play them, and that's in La Liga. Then we got to play them again 4 days later in the Champions League. And then we got to play against our rival in Espanyol at home on the 11th of April. He's actually going to miss the second leg, April 14th against Atletico. We have a tough home game against Celta Vigo, April 22nd. And we have to play Getafe, and we have to go to Getafe, April 26th. So I'm anticipating that he's going to miss all of those games. And that's a rough stretch, bro. We have to go to Getafe. We got a home game against Celta Vigo. We seen what Celta did to Real Madrid. We know our history with Getafe, having to go to Getafe. We have to play Atletico 3 times, twice in Champions League, 1 in La Liga. And then we got a home game that's against our rivals in Espanyol. And yeah, we beat them at Espanyol, so you would think it would be natural for us to beat them at home. But it took João Garcia having a super game in order for us to even win against Espanyol. So the games that Raphinha is going to be out, these are big games that we're going to miss from him. And it's very unfortunate. We're going to have to rely on Rashford, who had a little knock. It wasn't a serious injury. He is coming back. He is back, essentially. He played the last game. Got some minutes against Rayo, I believe. But we're going to need him now more than ever, especially with where we at in the Champions League. We can't use the excuse of accepting getting knocked out in the Champions League because we didn't have Raphinha. That was kind of the coping mechanism that we had last year when we got knocked out against Inter. First thing we were saying, we didn't have Koundé, we didn't have Balde, things would be different. You're not going to always have 100% of your roster healthy. I mean, 100% of your squad, I should say. You're not going to have that. So because you're not going to have 100% of your squad healthy, you have to have a good enough squad depth to where if you're going to inevitably lose a starter or two. When that happens, you got to make sure the backups are ready to go. And this is precisely why we brought in Rashford. Is it ideal in my personal input? No. But I would rather have Rashford than to not have signed Rashford. Raphinha gets hurt, and now you got to ask who the hell's playing out left. Ferran Torres? Miss me with that. So Rashford, we're going to need you, bro, because this is key games that Raphinha is going to be missing, and that left side may be an issue because not only do we will be missing Raphinha, but obviously we're going to get into the next topic. The next player, we're missing Alejandro Balde, and the Alejandro Balde situation is tricky, man, because the news broke surrounding Alejandro Balde that says, let me find that tweet. Where did it go, bro? All right. Yeah, so two news. Yeah. Breaking news Barcelona will consider selling Balde only if there is a good offer Premier League clubs are tracking. And then the follow-up post was Barcelona have started talks with Jorge Mendes to keep João Cancelo permanently. So it looks like Barcelona is laying the foundation to put the word out there that we'll be okay with Balde leaving. And if it's Premier League clubs that are linked to Balde, and it turns out it's from a club that really needs a left back, they can probably meet the evaluation Barcelona set on him. When looking on FootMob, his transfer value is right at $70 million, which is roughly about 60 million euros. And I do think there are a couple Premier League clubs that can put down that offer. Is that enough for me? I would like a little bit more, especially when you consider his age. And the left back market is not the deepest market in the world. And the fact that he turned 22 about 5 months ago, so that haven't even been a half a year yet, he still got his whole future ahead of him. And I think if he ends up leaving, he would do well for any club that's linked with him in the Premier League. And this is why I believe it would be a mistake for Barcelona to sell him. Unless we get blown out the water, his valuation at 60 million euros, I wouldn't accept anything under 80. Because of the fact that, again, we're dealing with somebody who's been playing for Barcelona when he made his debut at 17 years old. Still pivotal player for us. We look different in that left back position when he's not there. Now, João Cancelo signing him on a loan, it's helped kind of make us not miss him as much, but let's not be deluded here. Alejandro Balde should be Barcelona's left back for the long term. I've kind of had my opinions here and there. You know, should we keep him? Should we sell him if a crazy offer comes in? But unless we get blown out the water with the offer that we just couldn't say no to, Barcelona should be prioritizing keeping Balde for two fronts. One, as the point I was saying earlier, he's only 22 years old. He's not the finished product. He hasn't even really hit his prime. If you go off his age, yeah, you've been playing for us for 5 years, but he hasn't hit his prime yet. So I think we need to be a little bit more patient with Alejandro Balde. And on top of that, he's a La Masia product. We got to take care of our own, man. Part of what makes us go with the slogan, Més que un club, the reason why we say that is because of the fact that, you know, we do utilize our youth players. Who's been playing with us since they was 8, 9 years old. And they have a following that was built within the club. You know, they understand the club's morals and values and everything like that. This is not somebody we just brought in who's just here for a check. Like, this is a player that we developed and turned into a top 10 left back for sure. Some argue even top 5. I would put him right around that top 5, top 7 left back in the world. But a lot of the people that are better than him, or you could argue is doing better than him, are older than him. How many left backs in the world is better than Balde that is also 22 years old or even younger? It's not a lot, if any, you can name. So with that being said, Barcelona should do everything in the world that they can to keep him. Again, unless they get blown out the water with an offer. If somebody in the Premier League puts down a 70 million pound offer, which is close to about 80 million euros. If it's me running the club, I would accept it. That doesn't necessarily mean he will leave because, you know, they have to agree with his terms, and I'm sure they can pay him something Barcelona couldn't. whether it's United, Liverpool, Arsenal, City, whoever it may be. I'm sure they can give him the wages that would make him reconsider. But he may feel like it's too early to leave Barcelona, and he still has a lot to prove. And one of his closest friends, and Lamine Yamal, is still playing here, man. So all those little things matter, especially to a player. But like I said, man, just round this up in my opinion on this Alejandro Balde stuff. He's only 22 years old. My only problem with Balde is his injuries and how consistent he gets injured. I think if he can just work on staying on the pitch, everything else will come. Because he's really good at receiving the ball on the touchline on the far left side and driving the ball in the middle of the field by dribbling and then outpacing everybody. I like him to do more in the final third, but again, he's a left back. So I'm not asking you to put up crazy numbers. I know we have a ridiculously high standard for our fullbacks because we had Jordi Alba out left and we had Danny Alves outright. So we've seen peak Barcelona, and with those two doing what they did, our brains are fried of what fullbacks are supposed to be doing on a regular. And if it was anybody else in the world that had this type of talent, Alejandro Balde at 22 years old showcased what he showcased, a lot of clubs will be going in, putting in a lot of money. And so the fact that Barcelona has that already, we should be very wise on why are so many clubs linked to him? Like, what are they seeing that we don't? Why are we so okay with getting rid of him and everybody else is dying to get him? You know, that's something that the club should think about. Every player, as I've mentioned in previous videos, has a price. Unless you're Jean Garcia, Kubarsi, Pedri, and Lamine Yamal. I'm not talking any prices for those four. Anybody else, there is a price where if a certain club can reach that, and if you can reach an agreement with the player, by all means, enjoy your career. Good luck over there wherever you decide to go. But with that being said, if it was up to me, I would not want to get rid of Balde, bro. Because I still feel like we haven't seen the best of him. We got Hansi Flick. Remember when they were saying when he first got here, Hansi Flick was really excited to work with Balde. Hansi Flick can potentially have him play like how Alphonso Davies was doing at Bayern Munich. I was really excited for Balde, probably more than any other player, with the fact that we had Hansi Flick come in. When he's been healthy, he's been pivotal to Barcelona. His only issue for me is just the fact that he gets hurt often, and when he gets hurt. He doesn't really get hurt that much at the beginning of the year, but after we done played a good amount of games and everything like that, we start to get to the knockout stage of the Champions League, the do-or-die part of the La Liga season. Lately, he hasn't really been there, and it's unfortunate. It's not his fault. He's not asking to be hurt, but if he's hurt and he can't be his full self, then don't be out there. And I just think he need to work on that. Eat your beans, eat your spinach, drink your water, alkaline probably. But get your body right. Get your mind right so where you can stay on the pitch and consistently be out there. Because the players that's been linked with replacing Alejandro Balde, respectfully, should be backups. João Cancelo, I like him. Really good. But I don't think he should be starting for Barcelona week in, week out. As different as he looks from Balde going forward, he's really bad defensively. It just is what it is. That's been his story his whole career. And the other player we've been linked with in Grimaldo, La Masia product, had a really good career over there in Germany, especially with Leverkusen here recently. But he's 30 years old, and how good is he defensively? These guys may be a little bit better than Balde going forward, but these guys are in their 30s. Balde is only 22 years old. He has plenty of time to develop his game and develop the confidence it takes to be a left back, but have the confidence to go forward and express himself as a fullback in this Barcelona system, which I do believe he can still deliver for us. So my conclusion with the Balde situation, don't sell him, Barcelona. It would be silly to sell him, unless, again, we get something that nobody can refuse. Unless we're getting hit with that, don't be so forced to sell him. There's other players we can name in this squad that should definitely be hitting the exit door before Alejandro Balde. So I definitely want to know what you guys think about first the Raphinha situation, the timing of his injury, and what it's going to look like without him, and how big of a role is Rashford going to play during that 4 to 5 weeks Raphinha is going to be out. And for Alejandro Balde, would you sell him at any price? If you would sell him, what price would it take for you to sell Balde? But if it was me, unless we get blown out the water, I'm keeping him. But if you made it to this far in the video, man, like I said, if you can like the video, subscribe if y'all haven't subscribed. And I appreciate all the support y'all been showing me. And yeah, man, get in them comment sections, man. Let me know your thoughts on both topics, man. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and catch y'all on the next one. But until then, Two Tone is out, man. Peace.